Oh, wow. A moderation menu just came up that said moderation makes everyone feel safe, and it gave all these options. I have no idea what that is, so I'm not going to even look into it because there was a learn more button. Anyway, I was really trying to get off this Elon stuff and just the craziness and ineptness and psychotic, insane nature of the entity that is Elon Musk, or the Child King, who I found out he did buy his first business, or bought into his first business with his daddy's money. I actually found that. So that what I said was true before is just even more true about, him getting his start with daddy's money, just like Donald did. A small loan of $1 million. A salary began when he was around 8 years old. That's Donald I'm talking about, not Elon. But they're the same entity. I've realized that now. I've realized that every single thing that Elon Musk says is a lie, and he will change the story within the hour, within the half hour, within 5 minutes, by the next day. I could have done a video every single day since I did those last videos about something crazy, stupid, incompetent, ridiculous that he's done, but I didn't. I was a good boy. But this latest one, it starts with this. There was a young guy who's been posting rich people's and other people's private jets and where they go, called Flight Tracker. Okay, this guy has accounts on several social media sites. And he tracks flights of rich people, notable people, planes. This is publicly available information. Anyone can get, a 5-year-old could go get off the internet. This is not secret information. This is not doxing someone. This is not an invasion of someone's privacy. If you fly in a plane in America, it has to be registered, logged, tracked somewhere, because a plane in the air is a serious thing. There's many reasons for that. Terrorism, I'm sure, is one of them, that they want to know where every plane is and make it publicly available, and all that bullshit. Anyway, so this young guy's been doing this for years. Elon Musk eventually buys Twitter, either shortly before he bought it or after he bought it. I can't remember. Elon said in a post, "My commitment to free speech is so serious that I won't even ban the guy who tracks my plane from this website, from Twitter. I won't even do that, even though it's a danger to me." Wow, that's a bold statement, right? Mr. Free Speech Absolutist. That's also something he said in a post. He's a free speech absolutist. That's what he said. Of course, since then, he's backed down on that position many, 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 many times. And another thing I've learned about Elon Musk, there is always a prior post to refute or contradict what he's doing or saying in the present. You will always find one. It doesn't matter what the subject is, what he's talking about. You will find a prior post to contradict what he's saying. A prior post made by Elon Musk to contradict what Elon Musk is saying in the present, or doing in the present. Who does this remind you of? Oh, Donald Trump. Here's another one. Anything he says today, you will find a prior post that contradicts that. In other words, both of those entities, the Orange Thing and the Child King, Elon, are pure, unadulterated, fucking liars. They will lie with a straight face every day, all motherfucking day, like they breathe. Lying to them is the same as breathing air. And they might tell as many lies as they take breaths each day. That's how depraved they are. Now, back to the story. The young man just got suspended from Twitter, the young man who does the flight tracker stuff. So there goes Elon's prior post of, I am so serious about free speech that I won't even ban the kid that tracks my airplane. Again, this is all publicly available info. The kid isn't exposing anything. He's just reposting publicly available information that's already publicly available on the internet. He's not doing anything wrong. Doesn't deserve to be banned. So the justification for this kid's ban, this young man's ban the other day, yesterday, the day before, I can't remember it happened, was that someone jumped on the hood of a car that one of Elon's children was in. Somehow this got correlated by Elon to the young man who posts where his private jet is flying all the time. And that private jet has flown to Epstein Island as well several times. But, shh, let's not talk about that. And I've seen the pictures of it. I've seen the tracking of it. That jet has flown there. But let's put Epstein Island aside. So somehow this event where some crazy person allegedly jumped on the hood of a car that one of Elon's children was in. I'm not even sure if Elon was there. I'd probably not. When would he spend any time with his own children anyway? He's not one of those kind of guys. So again, somehow this event, I believed it happened in Los Angeles. Somehow this event got tied to the young man who posts information about where Elon's private jet goes. There is no correlation. It's complete bullshit. Here's how I know it's complete bullshit. On top of bullshit. When journalists asked the LAPD or whatever PD would have taken care of this incident, the police said no police report was filed, but we've seen what Elon has posted and, we're looking into it. Now, if someone jumped on the hood of your car and you felt that was a threat to your ex-wife, wife, child, whatever, wouldn't you file a police report? Of course you would. Elon didn't. No one did. So it appears that he's making the whole shit up. That no one jumped on any car. This is just an excuse or a lie so he could justify banning the young man that tracks his airplane from the website. It seems that's what he hinted at back when he made the post. He hinted at his intention to ban this young man when he posted, "I'm so serious about free speech, I won't even ban the young man that tracks my plane, even though it's dangerous to me." It seems he was just hinting that in the future, yeah, I'm going to ban that motherfucker. So yeah, it seems the event that Elon described didn't even happen because there's no police report to back it up. So it must not have been that serious, right? So it seems the event didn't happen. So it seems the justification for banning the young man that tracks his plane is a lie. But this is only the beginning of the story. Tonight, about 7 or 8 journalists have been kicked off Twitter. Just for out of the blue, no one knew why, didn't understand it. Eventually, once Elon saw the backlash, he started giving excuses like, these reporters have to go by doxing rules. There's new rules on the website about doxing people. You will be banned, blah, 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 blah. So he keeps repeating, and his sycophants and bots and liars that support him on social media keep repeating this line that these 7 or 8 reporters, including Keith Olbermann and others, posted links to his real-time location. That's a lie. That never happened. And many of them are repeating that someone put out his address, Elon Musk's actual address. None of that happened. None of those reporters posted a link or anything to Elon Musk's real-time location. And none of them posted Elon Musk's address. Again, the sycophants and bots and liars keep putting clever tweets up that, they'll go to Chris Hayes on MSNBC, or they'll say, why don't the reporters at the New York Times post their addresses? Blah, 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 blah. If, everything's cool with being doxxed, if you're fine with it being out in public. The thing is, that's a false equivalence. And the thing about false equivalences is that's all people that support Elon Musk ever put forth. That's all people that support Donald Trump ever put forth, are false equivalencies. I've seen it over and over and over again when they're trying to justify terrible behavior. Again, no one posted Elon's address. No one posted his real-time location. And tracking a plane is publicly available information. So I'm sorry, anyone that wants to put up an argument, you have no argument. So just fuck off. You got nothing. Fuck your false equivalence. Fuck your false equivalencies, however you want to say it. You got nothing. There's more to the story. So Elon, since he loves to put polls up and have people vote, he put a poll up because he's getting enormous blowback from just banning 7, high-level journalists from various entities outside of Twitter out of nowhere just because his fifis got hurt, because he's the biggest snowflake ever. He's getting huge pushback. Everyone knows it's bullshit. Everyone knows there's no justification for banning these people. And that was the whole justification for Elon buying it, right? That's what he keeps saying. I'm all about free speech. I don't like how people on the right got censored and blah, 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 blah. And Trump should have never been banned and blah, 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 blah. Yet, instead of a group of people at Twitter banning people making that decision, now we have one guy who has the maturity of an 8-year-old deciding who gets banned. And all it depends on is what mood he's in that day, or what those journalists reported on, because that's really why they got banned, because they reported on Elon Musk and things about him. That's really, and they're critical of him. That's really why they got banned. They didn't violate any policy. No one's putting up screenshots of these journalists doxing anyone, putting links to Elon's real-time location. No one's doing it. I haven't seen the posts, because they don't exist. Yet people are arguing this as if all these reporters just put out Elon's address, his real-time location, none of them did any of that. So since Elon's facing all this blowback from millions of Twitter users, Elon puts a poll up with 4 options, the first poll. Should I reinstate the journalists now, in 7 days, permanently ban them? And the 4th option, I can't remember. Well, the poll turned out at the end to reinstate all the journalists now. Elon didn't like that result. So within his own thread that included the poll, he said, oh, well, I gave too many options, so I'm going to have to redo the poll. Richest man in the world. Well, second richest now, but richest man in the world, people. This is how he acts. Just single-handedly bans whoever pisses him off when his feelings get hurt. Single-handedly bans anyone critical of him, especially high-level people, journalists, etc. Many people have been blocked by him or banned or suspended for nothing. So this is a better Twitter now than it was before. And what I find funny is all the right-wingers that were like, yeah, this is great, free speech, finally. They're all applauding these journalists getting thrown the fuck off, though, for nothing. The hypocrisy, baby. The hypocrisy. You gotta love it. It's incredible. So Elon then ran a second poll. Now, the second poll only has 2 options instead of 4. Reinstate the journalists now or ban them for 7 days, I think are the two options. I personally wrote to Elon after I saw this move. Put up a poll. It doesn't go your way. It doesn't support your bias and your authoritarianism or your fascism. So let me take my toys and go home and put up a new poll. That's even better. And maybe I'll get the result I like this time. Oh, and the second poll is a 24-hour poll. It lasts 24 hours. People can vote. The first poll didn't. It was much shorter. But, baby Elon didn't get the result he wanted, so he put up another one. Because there were too many choices. So by tomorrow, we should know the results of the second poll. Once all Elon's bots get on that shit, I'm sure it'll go his way. But I wrote to Elon, I said, okay, if this poll goes the same way as the last one, should we expect a third poll with only one option? And then I wrote, you're a joke. Because he is. He's a fucking joke. Richest man. You would think the way these people get worship Donald Trump and Elon Musk, you would think Donald Trump wasn't a clown wearing orange face paint and an adult diaper shitting his pants all day and had the intelligence of a 5-year-old. You wouldn't think that, right? Or the maturity of a 5-year-old, because both of those apply. You wouldn't think that, right? You'd think they're great leaders and great minds. But no, they're not. Or Elon. As much as he's worshipped by certain individuals, you would think he was the least bit intelligent, the least bit competent, the least bit mature, not a total fucking snowflake. When you got $100 billion, like, what do you care what anyone thinks? You know what I mean? Again, why are these people so needy? Why do they just scream out day after day for approval? Like, it's so sad. As much as I despise those two individuals, I feel sorry for them at the same time. Like, why can't, when you got 100 billion or you're, from fraud and your daddy's money and running scams and Ponzi schemes and, stock manipulation and just, all kinds of shit, treating employees like shit, laying off everybody. You would think these people would just like sit back and enjoy their money. No, they want to expose their every character flaw every second of the fucking day and just scream out for the attention of the world because they're just like little babies. Like, please look at me. Please admire me. Please think I'm cool. Please, please, please. I don't get it. I don't get it. All these two individuals had to do was shut the fuck up and enjoy their money. That's all they had to, from all the scams they've pulled their whole lives. All they had to do was just sit back and enjoy the shit. No, one had to go for the ultimate grift of being president, and he's on the verge of going to prison like every 5 seconds, on the verge of fucking bankruptcy. Everyone knows he's a complete fraud now. And Elon's well on his way there. I mean, the guy embarrasses himself on a fucking daily basis. Again, I could have done a video every fucking day about how incompetent, immature, just insane the fucking psycho is. But I didn't. I was a good boy, like I said. I can't believe it. And I guess I'll end with this. Elon really hasn't been the same. He was already a fucking psycho. Now he's like a double fucking psycho. Because the other night, Dave Chappelle, which I don't understand what the fuck possessed Dave Chappelle to do this, in San Francisco, Chappelle brings out Elon Musk on stage. He gets booed by about 80% of the people in the audience. I mean, viciously booed, to where even Elon and Dave were thrown. Like, damn, we didn't expect this shit. You should have expected it, though, Dave and Elon. Why? Because Elon's gone full Q, MAGA, conspiracy theory, psychopath. And he decides, yeah, let me walk out on a stage in San Francisco. After that. So yeah, the people of San Francisco really didn't want Elon Musk there. And he got booed viciously, and you could tell Dave was embarrassed. You could tell Elon was really embarrassed. Elon struck a few poses like voguing and shit, as people were like, boo, fuck you, boo. Dave Chappelle started making fun of his own audience. That's how lost Dave Chappelle is. And I used to really like Dave Chappelle, but now I see where he's at. And it ain't a good place. So Dave starts saying things like, oh man, a lot of these people booing there must be a lot of Twitter employees that got fired in the audience. So he's making fun of his own audience. Then he says, oh yeah, most of the boos are coming from back there in the cheap seats. Making fun of his own audience for being poor now, on top of them being fired ex-Twitter employees. This is Dave Chappelle saying this, trying to defend apartheid, beneficiary Elon fucking Musk. I don't know what world this turned into, and I don't know when it turned into this, but I'm stunned Dave Chappelle was doing this stuff, trying to be a good boy and defend massa. I couldn't believe it. I guess when you get rich, it don't matter where you came from no more. And you just see yourself eventually as one of those kind of people like Elon is, like Trump. Like you think you're in that club now. I guess that's what happens to a lot of people. Now, as far as Dave Chappelle, let me go back in time a little bit. Remember when Dave freaked out when this huge contract was offered to him, I think from Comedy Central or something, huge, worth millions of dollars. He freaked out. He ran away to Africa for a while. When he finally came back and they asked Dave, hey, why'd you freak out like that? Why'd you run away to Africa? What happened, Dave? Dave's like, well, I did a joke at this one skit I was doing, and this white camera guy was like laughing, and he was just laughing the wrong way for me. What was Dave trying to say? Dave was trying to say that he felt at that moment that white camera person or white person in the crew wasn't laughing with Dave, was laughing at black people. So Dave caught himself in a moment where it occurred to him that I may be doing a disservice to my fellow black people, my race, with some of the things, skits, jokes I'm doing. That's why that white person back there was laughing at us, at the black race, not with us or with me. That's basically what Dave was trying to say, that he felt at that moment, maybe I'm going down the wrong path. Maybe I'm doing a disservice to my race. Maybe I'm making the black race, in a racist's mind, more of a laughing stock already than it was. In other words, he's saying that camera guy or that white person in the crew was laughing because he's a racist. It was a racist laughter, not a laughter at pure comedy. So think about this. Years ago when Dave's making this statement, this realization pops into his head, and he flees to Africa where his people come from, his ancestral homeland. And he comes back with this new attitude. Like, maybe I need to think more about what I'm doing. Because white people might take it the wrong way, or maybe are taking it the wrong way. And I'm not doing a service to my race, I'm doing a disservice. That's a serious realization to come to. And I kind of respected him for even bringing that up, and I kind of respected that he took off and didn't just take the contract, and just thought about shit a little bit. I was like, this is interesting what he's saying, what he's doing. Fast forward to today, He's simping for an apartheid beneficiary. Elon Musk grew up in apartheid South Africa. If you don't know what apartheid is, that meant whites in South Africa had rights and blacks didn't. Like it used to be back in America, back in the times of slavery and even after slavery. Serious shit, man. So here's a man, Dave Chappelle, of African ancestry, the race that were slaves in America, that were slaves and subhuman in South Africa under apartheid, seen that way. Here's Dave Chappelle again, simping for someone who grew up a white man who benefited from apartheid South Africa and emerald mining and all that shit. And then you think back to when he ran away to Africa. Dave ran away to Africa because he felt he was doing his race a possible disservice. What the fuck has happened to the world? How did Dave Chappelle go from running to Africa because a white guy laughed the wrong way and he felt he was helping out the racists by accident? How did Dave go from that to simping for the beneficiary, Elon Musk, of apartheid South Africa, who was born filthy rich, never had to work a day in his life? How did Dave go from that to simping for a white guy whose daddy got rich off apartheid? How did Dave go from that to that? That is fucking sad. And I lost a lot of respect for Dave Chappelle over that. I don't know what that man was thinking. And again, on top of it, he's insulting the people that paid to go see his show because they don't like fucking Elon Musk. You know who else shouldn't like Elon Musk? Dave Chappelle. He especially shouldn't like Elon Musk. Every black person in the world shouldn't like Elon Musk because of where he come from, where his riches came from. I feel like I'm living in a twilight zone more and more every day. And again, you know, whenever you wonder, because I've often wondered this in my life, but ever since 2015, 2016, I realized how it happened. I've wondered many times, I'm like, how did Germany go from normal government to Adolf Hitler? How'd that happen? This is how it happened. What we've seen in the past 6-7 years, that's how it happened. And I warned people, I've told people in the first few videos I made about Elon Musk taking over Twitter and the other person that took over CNN, this is how it happens. They take over all the information outlets. Most of the info outlets, I know people will disagree with me here, but I know who actually owns each company and what's being said. There's hardly any left-wing outlets anymore. And I'm talking about the main outlets: Fox News, MSNBC, CNN, New York Times, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. If you really look at who owns these things, you'll see the agenda. And the agenda is silence anything left, anything liberal. And it's obvious. And Russia's involved in it. And the Saudis are involved in it. Elon Musk is involved in it. So when you wonder, if you're like me, and you wonder how Germany went from normal government to Adolf Hitler and to putting people in concentration camps, this is how it happened. Control of information. And the creation of an other. I've told you this before. This is what's been going on since an other. The illegal immigrants, the gay people, the trans people, the liberal, the socialist. Oh, and by the way, for everyone that wants to call Hitler a socialist, for the morons out there that don't actually know history and just see a slogan and run with it, the socialists were the first ones he put in jail. The communists and the socialists were the first ones thrown in prison when Hitler took over. Yet, I know for the average person that doesn't really study history, just listens to slogans, when you see the National Socialist whatever party that Hitler was in charge of, had nothing to do with socialism. Socialism was just a word to Hitler. He was a dictator, just like Vladimir Putin. When you hear the word communism, and people call Vlad a communist, or they call the leader of China a communist. No. Dictators, all of them, has nothing to do with communism, socialism, dictators. Fascism is the word. And I really wish, not all Americans, but most Americans, I wish most Americans were smarter and they just didn't they see someone identify from history or from politics now. They see someone, Vladimir Putin, identify as a communist, or they see Hitler identify as a socialist, or whatever the leader of China identifies as. Those are just slogans. They are meaningless. What they all are, again, are dictators, are fascists. But you actually have to not have utterly brainwashed political bias one way or the other. And you actually have to look with your own eyes at history and what the men actually did and actually do. Not what slogans are attached to them. That's what you have to do to truly know what the fuck is going on. When idiotic political parties in America use the word socialist and communist to scare you, if you have a firm grasp on history and really understand it and current politics, you'll understand why they're using those words and the fact that when they use those words, they're meaningless. They don't mean a goddamn thing. They're just trying to further their own agenda by scaring you because you've been brainwashed. And you hear the word socialism or communism, that's a trigger word for you, and you get all pissed off. Which is stupid. I wish more Americans were smarter. But it ain't just Americans, because it happened in Germany too. So, and it happened with a minority in numbers. Hitler did not have popular support across the country. He had a minority of sycophants that said to themselves, as long as he's hurting the people we want him to hurt, and as long as we benefit, we're fine with anything he does. That's the same as what we see in America today. As long as the people we see as other are being hurt or vilified and we benefit, or I feel like I'm benefiting even though I'm not, because I'm brainwashed, then fine. Whatever goes, goes. That's stupidity. And I've talked about this before. What people like that don't understand is when you unleash that pit bull, when you unleash that evil entity that's willing to hurt the people you don't like, as long as you benefit as well at the same time, or you think you're benefiting in some weird way. Once you unleash that pit bull, it doesn't stop biting people. It doesn't stop with only biting people that you don't like. Eventually, that pit bull bites you too. The sycophant, the cult member, the idiot. That's the problem with empowering that. Anyway, have a wonderful evening.